Alright, well, I'm back for the next part. Just do the back side of these two-piece molds. This morning I couldn't wait, and I went ahead and I turned them over and pulled the clay out. Got the clay cleaned out of these, which you definitely want to do because anything you leave in there, it's going to become a part of the resin piece. So you would lose a lot of detail if you left it in all the cracks and crevices. So when you do these, you'll want to put the detail, the important stuff up first, and make the backside your second part. Then the tricky part is putting the fill points in. This is a real learning experience, trial and error, a lot of oops on these, because you need to be able to pour it, get the resin in there, and the air escape. So you kind of got to think about it and analyze. And I think these will be all right. The way these are, being two-piece, I think I'll be able to just pour it in, overfill it, and then put the second piece on top to finish off the mold. And then it should have pretty much everything you need in there. And then you'd pour some extra in there afterwards. And something that you'll learn if you just get into this is you want to have a big reservoir pour spout, because when you compress these and the air bubbles are collapsing, that displaces the resin that you poured. So you need to have resin in there to take the place of the compressed air bubbles. And that's something that people probably don't realize. They put it in the air pot and compress it, and they wonder why they keep coming up short. Well, that's probably because you compressed your air bubbles and didn't have any resin to fill in there. So, and the other thing that's important is your mold release. I've been struggling with this for quite a while, and I keep buying it, trying different things, and I think what the trick is to buy it from a company that actually does, has a lot of turnover. And that's why I ordered this time. I ordered it from smoothon.com. The stuff you buy in the hobby stores, this stuff has a shelf life. So when you're buying it at some place like that, the odds of somebody else buying enough of this to keep this stuff fresh is very slim. So if you're gonna try and get into casting resins, you probably don't want to buy the kits that they have at Hobby Lobby or in the stores, because they've probably been sitting on there past their shelf life, and you're gonna struggle with it, and you're gonna think, well, this is screwed up, I'm not doing this. But it wasn't going to be your fault. It was going to be because you got expired product. I've only dealt with Smooth On, doing research when I first got into it. They seem to be a pretty big, popular company that sells it, and their prices are decent. I don't know comparable, but I've gone through life and realized that the cheaper, you buy cheaper, you get cheaper. So I'd rather, spend it and get, good quality stuff, and not have to, oh crap, that didn't turn out, and I got to throw that away. And shake this stuff up. You want to do, they say, liberal coats, light coats. Well, whose definition is light coat? You just put enough on there. I mean, I don't know if I ran into an issue where you've oversprayed, but I've definitely had quite a few molds that didn't get enough on there, or it was bad stuff. And that just, if you do that, if this release fails, you just wasted, both parts, the day and a half or whatever it took you to do this. You got to dig your part out, cut it out, which sucks. because then you got to risk slicing it with a razor blade or something. But I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff sprayed and started so it can dry a little bit. You see a little bit of shine to it, so there. Do that for one coat, and then you gotta clean out. Well, I guess I don't need to use this for that. If that was 300, then I can probably finish that off with my smaller cup here. So you can say, okay, ounces. It doesn't tell you how much it's going to end up being. So I can probably get, well, 200 grams. Fill it up a little bit, I guess. Yeah, now what to do with the mold. All right. Let's start with this one. Turn this in. I think it was already clean. All right, this one's 12 grams. So, see if I can't. This might take too long. So 132, so I got 120 grams of mold. So I want 212. $177. That looks like a lot. $198. There, 212. That will work. Yeah, it starts with 200, but when I put this in the vacuum pot, that's probably gonna spill out. Oops. Probably nothing I can do now. Now we gotta do another coat. Mold release. Whoops. Didn't, okay. Alright, well, here we go. Bet you I got too much. So, 20 grams. Now this you definitely want to put in a squeeze bottle, because that stuff is just going to keep running down dribbling down to the bottom when you're trying to pour it out. Make you a mess. Now one way you could estimate how much of this you need, is you can pour water in these molds, pour water and then pour them into one of these empty cups, and just keep track of how much water it takes to fill this up, and then you know exactly how much you need. But I didn't want to have to wait for the water to dry. And I guess this wouldn't be that critical to degas it. This is the back side, so you're not going to have anything that needs to keep its detail. So I probably just could go ahead and pour this stuff in. Make sure you get everything around the sides. Make sure you're scraping the stick, because the stick will get some of the raw mold material run up it, and then you don't want to get that. If that stuff gets into your pour, it's not going to have the hardener in it, so you're going to have a gooey mess. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely airy. Okay, here we go. Now this is covering up the tabs that I put in. So after this hardens and I pull the seed out, I can just cut out the opening so it will vent. going over. Come on, come on. That is about as perfect as you can get. Just a little extra. That's nice. So if I was degassing this stuff now, it would suck out the air and displace some of that, so I'd be able to pour the rest of this in. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to leave that in there so I got something to pull out. Unless I go find something real small, make me a little tiny piece. Alright, that's it. We'll come back in 4 hours and see if it worked. Thank you.